Alright, what is up YouTube? So today I'm going to be talking about the new XYZ monster coming out in Lightning Overdrive, and that is the Drytron Mu Beta Fafnir. Now this card, as it is very strong, but I will be telling you guys why this card is very overhyped. But before I get into that, I do want to make a disclaimer that this card is not bad. It's not a bad card, but I feel like a lot, and I mean a lot of people are overhyping this card when you could just boil it down to being as simple as just a Union carrier. I feel like a lot of people are going to get triggered by that, but I do want to say that. So let's read the effects and then I will kind of talk about why this is just a better Union carrier. So first effect is if this card is XYZ summoned, you get to send a Drytron card from your deck to the graveyard. The second effect is if you attribute a monster for a ritual summon, you can detach the appropriate XYZ materials from this card instead. And then the third effect is when an opponent spell or trap card is activated while you control a ritual machine monster. Quick effect, you can detach one XYZ material from this card, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy it. So the reason why I say this card is just a better Union carrier is, one, you're pretty much doing the same thing with this card. You want to get, your Gamma in the graveyard, or maybe a Delta if you already have the Gamma, or any of the Drytrons you are missing in your combo piece. Just send it to the graveyard so you can use it for the following play. But that is not only why this card is overrated. The third effect of this card is super overrated. People are going crazy like, oh my god, this is so crazy. Oh my god, this card is even more broken than I thought it was. No, it is not as broken as you think it is. First of all, this card only activates if you have a machine ritual monster, which means you have to play the kind of mediocre Drytron ritual monsters, which is not optimal. Everybody cut that card from their list. They're not gonna play this card specifically to play in combination with the new XYZ monster. It's just not happening. Secondly, this card only negates spell and trap card activations, which you're just gonna make Herald, or you're gonna make the other Herald, which is ultimateness. Why would you ever want to have this card on the field? Third, this card needs to detach a material for you to negate. Now, you might be like, oh, you're gonna have XYZ materials anyway, but you're probably gonna detach materials for the second effect to tribute a ritual monster. You want to use the materials to tribute. That's why you went into this XYZ monster, because generally you would go into Union carrier and then use Union carrier to ritual summon your monster from the graveyard. So this is basically replacing the Union carrier that you would make and have this instead. So why would you want materials on this card when you really want it to use your Drytron effect? So all three of those points makes this third effect really not worth it. The problem with this card, and it's not a big problem, it's not like the card is terrible. Again, I'm not saying this card is terrible. My point is this card doesn't change the end board. All it does is make the deck a little more consistent by taking out the Union Carrier Dawn Knight package. Again, this card is really good, but it's overhyped. But before I do end this discussion, I do want to make a last point. Now let's look at the second effect. If you attribute a monster for a ritual summon, you can detach the appropriate XYZ materials from this card instead. Now, the thing is, one, you cannot use this to summon the Drytrons unless you like tribute the whole card, which is not going to be worth it. You don't want to tribute this card because you want to use it for the ritual summons. So you can't use them for the Drytrons unless you just want to get rid of this card entirely, which you can after you use all the materials, but you're going to have to ritual summon first. And then, when it has no materials, then you tribute off this card, which again isn't bad, but it's just a little bit of a flaw that the card would have been better if it did include that you can tribute Drytrons as materials to summon the Drytrons from the graveyard or from the hand. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I'm out. Peace.